Okay, we are going to be starting part 2 of my story, and you will have to bear with me. I think I really am coming down with something. I did take the day off, and it is about 5 o'clock in the morning. I just could not sleep. I have to say, last night I did get in pretty late. The ending of my story happened last night. So we met over to my friend's house for the squatters to get their stuff. And it was pretty interesting. So I'm going to back up to where I ended about the paperwork, and then I'm going to try to not make it as long, and I'm going to be leaving out a lot of details, or we could be here, like I said, forever. And hopefully I won't have so many technical difficulties. You might see me, like I said, you're just looking at my TV with this download I have. But I don't feel like going, doing anything else for a vocal here. I just don't. But anyways, with this paperwork, they had it messed up. So anyways, we went to court on this paperwork Thursday. It took a while for them to do whatever they had to do. But on the paperwork, it said that it was for repossession of his home. And that was last Thursday. So these people, they kept saying that they were going to get out. They were leaving. They had a place to go, yada, yada. And they still weren't going anywhere. So when they ended up getting this paperwork and they seen that there was a court date, they figured that they had another month that they could still stay, because the court date was set out for a month. It was actually a month and 2 weeks, something like that, so that they had more time. And there was more that happened within that period of time. They thought the paperwork meant that my friend wasn't even allowed to be over at his house at all, and that's not true. He had every right to go over to his house. As long as the two people were not in the house at the same time. That's how we were told. It should have never been stalking paperwork at all. I don't even know if I said it in my last video. I have friends that are cops. I talked with a friend of mine who's a retired officer. He's been retired for 15 years now, but and I also spoke with some officers that I didn't even know. And they said if they would have served the paperwork themselves, they would have told the gentleman he needed to get out right away. That they would have gave him 20 minutes to leave the property. But that's not what happened. The sheriff that gave the paperwork to the jerk, he just gave them the paperwork. And that was it. So anyways, we were not, we were just going to wait for the court date. And I went as a witness. And I got to tell you, it was interesting. I thought I was going to see the inside of the jail for the first time in my life. We sat there and we thought, we would go and see the magistrate, and, we would get these people out because it said for possession of his home back. And yes, they probably would, give them time. It wouldn't be a quick, get them out or whatever. But as we're sitting there, I was speaking to one of the officers. She was a female. We were talking about all sorts of stuff. And she was just telling me that, because it was in the small claims division, and we were the only ones sitting there. And she ended up sitting down and we were just talking about all sorts of stuff. And we were talking about this case too. And she just said, these quote squatters, they have more rights than the homeowners. And she said most of the cases that come in, it basically are people that, not roommates per se, but, people that rent out their homes, the whole home. And you have people that just don't pay. They ruin the homes and they won't get out, and people have to take them to court to get them out. And then, it's just a nightmare to get them out. She goes, this is kind of a unique case because, my friend was supposed to be living in his own home, and these people were just, roommates. They were basically homeless, and he was helping them out. And, here we are. So, we never did get to see the magistrate. This lady comes out. I guess she was like a clerk for her or whatever. And she just said, okay, they didn't show up. Here's your paperwork. You can go. And I'm like, okay, and what does this mean? What does this mean? She's like, well, the protective order is in place. You're good to go. And I'm like, what about these people? Because my friend, like I said, he's not good at talking to people. I am more assertive, okay? And I'm like, what about getting them out of the home and him being able to sleep in his own bed, because he shouldn't have to be in the same home with his, quote, stalker, since that's how you guys wanted to make the paperwork. She's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, this court date was for him to take possession of the home. He was already granted the protective order. It says right on there that he's got the protective order for 2 years. That was already granted. There was already a court thing for that. That was already taken care of. She's like, well, let me go back and talk to the magistrate. So she went back and talked to the magistrate, I guess, where you sit there and wait. She comes back out and she's like, the magistrate is not going to put on there that the, quote, jerk, stalker, whatever, has to be removed from the home. She's not going to amend that. I'm like, then why are we here? She's like, well, I'm not sure. And I'm like, it says right on there for, to him to get possession of the home. And she's like, oh, well, the magistrate isn't going to, she's not going to hear that part, or that's not going to be a part of this today. And I'm like, then why did they make a court date? I mean, why did I take off work? Why did my friend take off work? There was no reason for us to be here, right? And why isn't she not doing this? I mean, this was what we asked for. And so she's like, well, the magistrate says she remembers this case. Well, yeah, it's only been a couple months. It's not like it's like a year or anything like that. It's it's kind of unique too, because, they were roommates, not running a whole house to them or anything. And she's like, well, she goes, I don't know what to tell you. That's exactly what she said. And I told her, I said, so he's supposed to live with his stalker, or he's supposed to live in his vehicle, or, jump from house to house or whatever, when this is his home? And she's like, she got in my face. She literally got in my face. And she's like, he's got another house. He's got another residence. He can stay there and, until this is resolved. I said, how is it going to be resolved? Number one. Number two, no, he does not have another house, another residence. And she goes, yes, he does. I said, no, he doesn't. And I brought my proof. Well, he had proof too. He had his driver's license. He had utility bills. He had his insurance bills. he had, a bunch of mail to prove, not just utility bills, because landlords can keep utility bills in their name, but other bills showing that all of his mail goes to his own home, right? His insurance, everything goes there. And I told her he has no other home. That's his home. Even the deed to the house, which I mean, that doesn't really say much. But I told her he does not have another residence. Okay, that's his home. This was said in all the amended paperwork that I actually helped him fill out. And she goes, "Well, I don't know. The magistrate, she had it down that he had another residence, another home, and that he had a place to go, and so that's why she didn't do this. So I don't know what to tell you." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." She goes, "You're going to have to file an eviction, an emergency eviction or whatever." I'm like, "Well, why didn't you guys just say this, a few months ago? I mean, we thought it would be taken care of because we knew that we would have to do an eviction, but, we were told that this protective order, would get them out or get him out because of, the threats. That was the main thing, the threats. We already knew that we were going to be doing an eviction, okay, to make it totally legal. But when they said to take possession of the house over, because when he spoke with the magistrate, she said there is another way around this. That's what she told my friend, because she knew that it was kind of that there was a major issue going on because there was drugs, the police were involved, there was guns in the home, and there was threats. So she did tell him that there's another way to go around going around doing this to get it done quickly. And so instead of waiting for an eviction, and that's why she put on the paperwork, I guess, maybe, to get possession back of his home. But then she totally blew it off. But anyways, so he did not get a chance. Well, he went downstairs. I'm sorry. We had to go downstairs to file for the emergency eviction. But by the time that he filled out the paperwork, we're already getting into it. It was late, and they have computers down there. But in my state, when you do that, when you file for eviction or emergency eviction or whatever, you also have to, and this is so stupid, I don't even know why, but you have to go into Google and you have to pull up this thing and you have to read it and you have to print it out. And it has to go in with the packet. Okay? You literally have to print it out. So, and we're downtown. We're downtown in my big city. Okay? So, and like I said, they have computers there, but they were getting ready to close. So they're like, "You don't have time to do this," because they close down their station, their computers at a certain time. So she's like, "You're going to have to come back, bring this back tomorrow or whenever, and have this printed out with the paperwork." All right. Well, my friend, he could not take off work the next day because in construction, I mean, he has a great boss, but, and, we'll let him take off when he needs to take off, but they have a big job that they are doing, and he really needed him there to do, to get this job done. It's a major client that they're working for, and so they really needed to get this, they really needed him. So he wasn't able to do that on Friday to get that done, or Monday as well. I mean, actually this entire week he is going to have to be there at work because it is a major project that they're doing. So, and he won't get off work before, you know, the courthouse or whatever. Or even, I mean, he can get on the computer and get that printed out and stuff, but he still has to be there at the court personally to turn it in, because then he's got to sign something. It's really stupid. I could take it down myself, and they said no. He would have to be the one to do it because he's got to sign in front of him that he turned in the packet. It's really stupid where I live. It really is. But, so he's going to have to wait to do that. But anyways, moving forward, that was last Thursday. Okay? So the neighbors have really been keeping an eye on what's going on and who's coming and going in the house. And they've been texting him and letting him know what's going on. And they said, you know, their vehicle has been gone, but, you know, this trailer has been sitting there, which is the Boss Man. I've been talking about the Boss Man on my first video, right? But their vehicle is gone a lot and stays gone at night. Now, remember, they don't have anywhere to go, so we're assuming that they've been staying at the Boss Man's house because they've burnt so many bridges, even their family. So, anyways, at this point in time, I've had enough. I have absolutely had enough. And the police officer, the female, she said something to me. She's like, don't quote me, but she goes, I've heard, you know, just by listening to some cases and by being an officer, she goes, I heard this. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not. She goes, but I have heard that if people leave, squatters, they leave, you can maybe just change the locks. She goes, it might not be legal. I don't know. You might get in trouble. She goes, but sometimes when you get desperate, you get desperate. So, you know, I thought about that, and I'm thinking to myself, what can they do? Are they going to take him to court? No, they're kind of scared of cops. They're scared of court. I don't know. So, but like I said, at this point in time, I have had enough of this. Like I said, I could go on for hours and hours and hours what these people have done, okay? And it's affecting my life because I've been kind of drug in the middle of it. I got like somebody in my home too, which is no problem. He doesn't cause me any issues. You know, he's helped out around my place too, and I feel really horrible for him. And you know, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. So anyways, on Saturday, enough was enough. I had enough, and I told him, we're going over there. If they're not there, you can be there, right? And we're going in the home, your home. We're going to see what's up, and we're calling an officer out, and we're going to see what he says about this paperwork, because all these other officers are saying, you know, he's not supposed to be in this home. No matter what I don't care what the magistrate says anymore. You're still going to do this legal eviction, but it clearly states in the paperwork that he's not allowed to be on this, you know, on this property. So we go out there, and one of his friends, who he rode his bike out there as well, and we all meet out there, and their vehicle is not there. Well, the neighbor texted us first and said that their vehicle is not there, and I can't remember if I said it in my other video. The trailer now is gone, but the boss man's box truck is there. Okay, it's there now. Now this box truck, we know it's the boss man's because when my friend was working for him, they hauled windows in it. So the box truck is there now. So they were planning on moving stuff. They've been moving stuff. It's just, how long does it take, right? So anyways, they're not there, so, you know, we have no issue going in. We go inside this home, and it is absolutely demolished, okay? I took pictures, I took video, and when I mean demolished, the house smells so bad that my friend's friend, he had to go outside. He goes, I can't stand it. Okay, I can't stand it. It stunk so bad. They, in the garage, we'll just start there. They knocked over, like, you know, the big toolboxes and stuff. He has like these, you know, they go almost up to the ceiling in the garage with tools and stuff. They knocked those over. The pool table has sawdust all over it from where he was doing his woodworking stuff instead of putting a tarp over it, like he did do to begin with. He would put a tarp over it, right? And there's oil spilled all over the felt on the pool table. They left behind, they still had some of their stuff in there, all the big heavy dressers that he made, those were still there. Garbage everywhere, whiskey bottles, beer cans, pop cans, cigarettes, all throughout the house. Okay, garbage, junk everywhere, clothes everywhere. You can imagine not having water for all this time, right? It stunk so bad. It was horrible. The refrigerator. I know this is going to be gross. I opened up the refrigerator and there's maggots in the freezer and in the refrigerator. Like I said, I took pictures. I could put pictures up, but my channel would probably be flagged and deleted. It is that bad. The bathroom, they kept going to the bathroom, shitting in the toilet, shitting in the tub. It is full of shit in both. The house is infested with fleas. They had a dog. My legs are bit up with fleas. It's horrible. It is absolutely, I feel so bad for that dog. Just bit up. I mean, the house is absolutely disgusting. There's, when they moved in, my friend, he set them up, and I actually helped him set them up in the one bedroom. He had a king-size bed. He put new sheets on it, blankets, it had pillows, everything. They literally walked in with the clothes on their back, you know, and some clothes. Before they brought in all this wood furniture that he was making and wood carving stuff or whatever. But my friend had a king-size bed, and it was in the one bedroom downstairs, closer to the bathroom. And that bed has a big, I'm talking huge, burn hole in it, okay? So they took it upon themselves to move from that room to the other room that's got a queen size bed, which is also his, my friend's, and they were staying in that room. They didn't ask if they could go to that room. My friend emptied that room out because he was going to start painting. Like I said, he wanted to. He wanted to put the home up for sale, so he wanted to do some improvements to it to do that, and he wanted to. The first thing he wanted to do was repaint the whole inside because it hasn't been painted in years, and so that room was completely emptied, and that was the biggest room in the house, biggest bedroom. So they took it upon themselves to move out of the one room and move into the other room, and just just didn't ask. They just did it, and like I said, they took over the house. So they probably went from the king bed to the queen bed in the other room because they put this big old hole in. Upstairs, my friend's bedroom upstairs that he had locked, they kicked the door in. Okay, so the frame is all busted up. They kicked it in and went through his stuff. And we have a list of all the things that they stole, okay, that he can't find. And one of the most important things that they took was his father's folded burial flag for his casket. That's in a glass frame. I said that his dad was in the military, in the Marines. This one was, for his casket. And he also had another flag. My friend has a very big flagpole right in the front of his yard, or right in the front. And there was another, he had like a hope chest. There was another flag that went on that pole, and also a Marine flag that, I think it was a Marine flag. I think so. And it went on that pole too. They took that, but the one that really hurt was the one that was in the case that they give you, the folded one. They took a lot of. They took a box that was full of watches that belonged to his grandfather, and old coins and stuff. They took a lot of stuff. I have a page full of stuff, and most of it was from that belonged to his father and grandfather. Okay, so I have that, and today, if he gets off work, I've already talked to the police, and today they want to go ahead and take a report, but on that, and also the damages, they already know about the damages. We'll get to that in a minute, but they want to do an official report. The only problem is they said that it probably will be a civil case. They want to go ahead and take a report. They don't know if they'll do criminal with the stolen property. We know where it's at. We know where they're at. But like the police said, they probably will not be able to do a warrant because they'll have to have, probable cause. And that's going to be hard to do. So they'll make a decision today if they'll do criminal or not, but or do something criminal, if they're going to be able to do it criminal, or if it's just going to have to be a civil case, because it's going to be hard to prove that they took anything. Yes, we do have pictures that they busted in, kicked in the door to a bedroom, but they can argue that my friend did it. Even though that makes no sense. Why would he destroy his own home? But anyways. So when we went into the home, I called the police. Okay. That they destroyed this house, and I needed them to come out to do a report. And they said, you're going to have to come in, to do a report. We're not going to be, we're not going to come out to do that, because they're well aware of what's going on, like I said. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. No problem. Because I don't want to waste their time, okay? So, I would think that they would want to come in and look at things, but that's okay. I got pictures, right? I got my phone. I can get those printed out, no big deal. So I thought they would want to come in and walk through, but it is what it is. So anyways, I did go in their bedroom, and oh my gosh, like I said, they still had a lot of stuff there. And on the dresser, there was drug paraphernalia, and there was a bag with some white residue in it, and still a little bit of stuff. Didn't know what it was. There was a butane. It was like a propane tank. I've never seen one of these before. It was a propane tank, but it was like, it had like a, it's hard to describe. It was like a butane too thing that went with it. I've never seen anything like it. And then there was some straws. And then there was some pipes. And that's when I said, I'm out of here. Walked out of the house. I called the police back and I said, this is what I found, whatever. They said, we're coming right out. So they came out. There was meth in the house, okay? It wasn't a lot. It was basically residue. They got rid of it. They could not stand the smell. They said basically, they can't say they were cooking meth in the home, but definitely meth use in the home. So at that time, 2 officers came out. They were wonderful, very nice people. The smell just, they were just floored at the condition of this home. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And they told us at that time, they said, well, it looks like that they got a lot of their stuff out. They left the big stuff that they have to get and some garbage and some clothes thrown here and there. And after what we just witnessed with the drugs, they're not here. You have permission to change the locks. Change them. Change them. And if they break in, then you call us back out here. And then it's breaking and entering. Because it looks like they're pretty much out of here. But you do have to give them their stuff back. When we will, they have to do it by a third party. Since there's a protective order or whatever, a third party meet up. They can get their stuff, and that's it. They're gone. And I'm like, well, we don't have this legal eviction yet. And he's like, who cares? This is a meth house now. The magistrate didn't do her job. I'm sorry. And he looked at the paperwork and he's like, he shouldn't have been here to begin with. It states right on here that he should not have been at this home. And he goes, the only problem is they listed, this as his address because he basically was a tenant. He goes, but it really doesn't matter because we have removed. He goes, this is what people don't get. We have removed people that are married or maybe, together, not even married. When there's a protective order or a restraining order and they both have the same address, and we removed one person from the address because of a threat. He said this person should have been removed the day that this went in effect. And nobody wanted to do their job and removed him from the home. So what they did is they destroyed the home, knowing that, when that court date came down, they knew that my friend was going to get possession of his house eventually, right? It's his home. So they destroyed the home in that amount of time. Literally destroyed it. There's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of destruction. All the furniture is going to have to be thrown away. The place is infested with fleas, okay? I mean infested. All the beds are going to have to be thrown away because, like I said, there's burn holes. The furniture, the recliner and everything, burn holes. The refrigerator, that's getting thrown out. Maggots, I ain't cleaning that up. Um, a professional cleaner is going to have, I mean, I can do some of it, but it's going to be so bad. My friend's going to have to get a dumpster out there. That's how bad it is. The outside, they have, he did some other construction for the boss man. So there is tires, there's siding, there's all sorts of building materials and junk all in the backyard. I mean, it looks horrible. Um, and they left a lot of junk. So a dumpster is going to have to be brought out there. I mean, the house looks like it needs condemned. The bathtub is going to have to be replaced. Uh, Luckily, I actually have at my place. I purchased, and I got it off the marketplace, and it was brand new. But I purchased a walk-in shower, and it was brand new. And the man told me that the measurements were a certain size. It was a standard. And I got it for my one bathroom, right? Because I pulled out the tub in there, and I wanted a walk-in shower. And I like finding good deals. So it was brand new, and he told me it was a certain size, and so I went ahead and I purchased it. And when I got it here, and we were getting ready to do the bathroom, because that part I finally got done. The walk-in shower is in place and plumbed in and stuff. I just don't have the new flooring that I got, because I did get tile flooring, and I don't have all the tile work done or anything. But when I got it home, it was, for the space, it was too big, because it's, I needed one that was like a little bit smaller. This is standard, your standard size. I needed a smaller walk-in shower. Not that much smaller, but a little bit smaller. It comes just, they come in different sizes. And so anyways, I still have that here at my house. I didn't do anything with it, so I still have a brand new whole setup, you know, the whole walk-in shower setup. And I went to a local place here, our local building place, and bought a brand new, spent it was like $700, and that was a good deal. It was on sale, and I bought the size that I needed to fit in my space of, you know, the walk-in shower. And it was just it was a whole, it was a 3-piece kit set. And then I'm doing tile up above and around. I'm not doing tile in inside. I don't have the time for that. I wanted to do something. I wanted to tile the whole inside of it, but I thought, you know, I'm just going to go with the kit. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going to tile above it and around it. I know I'm getting off track here, but anyway, so I have that for him, so he isn't going to have to go buy that. But the toilet, that was a brand new toilet right before he, before they moved in, he put a brand new toilet in there. That's going to have to be ripped out. They ruined his sink as well. They cracked the porcelain in the sink, so that, I mean, the whole bathroom is going to have to be a gut job. So anyways, this house, if, put it this way, if somebody, if they would condemn it, they would condemn this house, okay? It's that bad on the inside. It's something that you wouldn't want to live in, and you would, you know, condemn it. So that's how bad it got, and it was not like that. when he was there, telling them they had to move out, when he gave them a notice, and then he did go over there a few times when they weren't there to check his mail. So they done this much damage within a couple of months and destroyed it. Okay? When this protective order was served on them. So, just saying that if she would have got them out of there because of it, all this damage wouldn't have been done. And he will not get any money from them at all because, like I said, he works under the table so that he does not have to pay child support or taxes, and she gets disability. And they know this. So, moving on from that, we did change the locks, and he even told me, if you want this box truck towed, it's you can have it towed, because you didn't give permission for this to be on your property. So you absolutely can have it towed if you want to. I mean, the cops were awesome. So when they left, we decided, what they left, I wrote a note, okay, and I stuck it on the door, and I just put on there that my friend, I acted, that like I was him, that I took over possession of my house, and because I knew that, we went to court and all, or he went to court. I took possession of my house. The police were here, found the paraphernalia and the drugs, got rid of those. They knew what we were talking about. They knew that, that it was there. Locks have been changed per police. If you try to break in, just like the police said, they will be called out. Neighbors are watching. Okay, they are informing us when any vehicle is pulled in. And you can make arrangements through a third party to come and get the rest of your stuff. And also put on there, I would like the stuff that was stolen back. And the police are aware of what was stolen. All right, so that's what I put on the note. So Sunday, now I know I did my little lake video, because Sunday night I went fishing, right? And spent some time by the lake. But Sunday morning, I went over there with him to cut the grass. Help him cut the grass, because it was, like I think I've already said, it was so high, it wasn't cut for over a month. My friend went over there, like I said, he cut the grass. I think he cut the grass a month before that. He did go over there when they weren't there, and he cut the grass. So, yeah, he did. He went over there and cut the grass because he didn't go inside. They weren't there, and he just cut the grass real quick. And so it was like a month that the grass has not been cut. So you can, I think I said before, you can imagine how high it was. And the neighbors are like, thank God, thank God. Well, anyways, I'm the one that Sunday morning, he did all the trimming, and like I said, it sits almost on an acre. So I got on the ride-on, and I cut the grass, front and back. And before I did that, I called the boss man, okay? Because I already stated he starts drinking early in the morning. And so I knew to call him before he got drunk. And I gave him the courtesy of, you're going to have to get the truck out of here, or it's going to be towed. Now, I could have had it towed, right? But I was also going to give him the courtesy of, okay, since you're helping them out, okay, for whatever reason, you're kissing their butt or whatever, but, you know, since you're involving yourself, and I kind of involved myself, we're the middlemen here. So we can make arrangements for them to get their woodworking stuff and their garbage clothes or whatever. So, you know, um, I gave him a call. Now, I also have to say that in the house, also, every dish, every plate, every piece of silverware, all of his dad's casserole dishes that he had, that, you know, those old, I think they're called Pyrex or something. I can't even say it. All of that was gone. And they, when they moved in, they had no silverware, no plates, no nothing. My friend had all that. All the pots and pans, all of that, gone. They took it off. Okay? That belonged to my friend. I mean, they were supplied with everything when they moved into this house. Okay? So, anyways, I called this boss man, and when I told him, you know, my name, he's like, oh, okay. And I said, I'm just letting you know, this is me. I'm sure you know what's going on. And he goes, well, I'm letting you know I'm recording you. And I said, I don't give a shit. I said, you know, this is not a two-call state or two-party state. And he's like, huh? What's that? This guy thinks that he knows it. Well, I think before he said that, he asked me, he goes, okay, do you have eviction paperwork? That's what he said. Before he said he was recording me. Let me backtrack. He said, do you have eviction paperwork? I said, well, we went to court. I was kind of playing dumb with him. And I said they didn't show up. He goes, do you have eviction paperwork? And then he said, I am recording you. When you said, and I'm not going to say my name, when you said who it was, he goes, I decided to record you. And that's when I told him, I said, I don't give a shit if you're recording me. This isn't a two-party call state. And he's like, huh? What's that? I'm like, well, you act like you know the law about, you know, about everything. I said, you should know that. I said, it's fine. It's not illegal for you to record me. You didn't have to tell me that. I said, you know, you're allowed to record me. Only one person needs to know that that the call's being recorded, and that would be you. So it's fine. And I really don't give a shit that you're recording me. I said, I'm just calling you to let you know that your vehicle is on my friend's property and it needs to be removed because he has every right to have it towed. Okay? He did not give them permission, nor you, to have it on there. I said, I am the one that is taking over now. Okay? Because you guys aren't talking anymore, apparently, and you're kissing their butts. You know, you did fire him because you're the one that told us before that he was on meth. Right? And he's like, again, do you have eviction paperwork? I said, I don't need it. He goes, well, yeah, you do. I said, no. I said, the police were out here. I said, they destroyed the house. He goes, well, I don't know nothing about that. I said, no, you don't know anything about that. I said, did you go in the house? He said, no, I didn't. I just went to the garage. I said, well, then you don't know what you're talking about. And that's fine. Don't give a shit. He goes, well, neither do I. He goes, I just know that, you know, how did he say it? I just know there's two sides to every story. And I said, you knew back before, you know, when my friend was working with you, that these people weren't paying because you told us that we should have all the utilities shut off. That's illegal. We can't do that. And he goes, well, you had the utilities shut off. You had the electric shut off. I mean, with the water, he already knew the issue with the water because we talked about that. And I said, the electric is not shut off. That's another lie they told him. I said, the electric is not shut off. He goes, yeah, it was. I said, the electric is on. He goes, the electric's been off for a couple of weeks. I said, well, it should have been shut off. It should have been, because the bill was behind. Okay? I said, because they wouldn't pay him their utility bills. That's all they had to pay. I said, all they had to pay was $350 a month. He goes, that included utilities? I said, you knew this. We sat down and talked about it. I talked about it with you. I said, you knew this. I said, but every time I would be over there, I said, you would be pretty much toasted. He goes, well, I still remember a lot. I said, yeah. But see, at this time, he has me on speaker, and the jerk is in the back, and he's running his mouth. So boss man is getting loud with me. He starts getting loud with me, and he goes, well, I don't know about all that. He goes, and then he starts talking bad about my friend, and I said, some friend you are, you know. My friend has always been there for you. Where was the jerk when you needed stuff? When your wife was going through chemo and you had issues and you needed this and you needed that. I was there for you, and you're not even my friend. Okay? You're not. You're an acquaintance. You know, that's it. I don't even know your wife that well, but I was there for you. I took you food when you needed it. Took you up to the hospital, you know. And my friend has been there for you, you know, all the time. Where's this person that you're helping out? Where was he? He didn't know what to say to that. He was quiet. So anyways, but then he started getting loud with me, and he's like, well, I'm trying to think of what he said, because he started getting really loud. And at this point, I was in the front yard at my friend's, and he asked me to go to the backyard because I'm getting really loud. I went way to the end of the property because I'm starting to get really loud. And because I'm not going to be yelled at by a man. I dealt with that with the ex. And I told him, I said, the police came out, okay? I said, there was meth in the home and paraphernalia. And at that point in time, it became a different story. We're talking about it, you know, something totally different. He said at that point, it's a, you know, it's a game changer. We were allowed to change the locks. Oh, about the electric. I said, the electric, the breaker was tripped. I said, it should have been disconnected. Yeah, but they didn't disconnect it. I said, I called the electric company to find out exactly how much was owed. And it wasn't disconnected. And my friend caught everything up. Caught all their utility bills up that they owed. Because it was in his name. He had to anyways. And it was never disconnected. When he went over there, the power was out, and these dumbasses stayed over there for 2 weeks with no power because the breaker tripped. And they were too wigged out. You would think that this man, okay, this jerk, who does construction, okay, what's the first thing you would do if your power went out? I mean, granted, you know, they might think that since they haven't, you know, paid the bill or gave my friend any money to pay the bill, but they would also maybe have common sense that, and know, because they know how to play the system, that legally, you know, he's still responsible for that bill, and he would have to pay deposits and reconnect fees to have the utilities turned back on. And this is, you know, going to go against him. But the first thing you would think is, you know, go check the breaker to see if maybe it tripped, right? These dumbasses, excuse my French, still stay there for two weeks without power. That's why there was maggots in the refrigerator, because not only did they stay there without power, But they didn't take anything out of the refrigerator, open up the refrigerator, or nothing. So they're just living, and there's all these flies in the house on top of the fleas, maggots, yeah. So I told him, I said, when you come over, you're going to see that there's power. I said, but they must have been too wigged out on the drugs that they were too lazy to go check the breaker. I said, but you're going to see when you come over that there's power. Okay? And I said, and if you think that we shut it off and had it turned back on, I said, I'll be more than happy to call the company. I said, because I am an authorized user on the account, because my friend works out of town a lot. He made me an authorized user to get information and to pay on his utility bills. That's how my friends are. Okay, we're close. Me and my friends are close. If somebody, he doesn't, he works a lot out of town. I've already stated that. So that's what friends do, right? So I told him I would be more than happy to call them, have them on speakerphone, and I will ask them, has the utilities, has this electric ever been turned off? Ever. Because his father's never had it turned off. And his father has lived there for years. Ever since my friend's been a little boy. Okay? Has the power ever been turned off at this residence? Ever. Or I could say for at least the last 15, 20 years. And they're going to say no. And then you're going to look like an asshole. Because, again, they were too stupid to go check the breaker. So they lived there without power and without water. But, didn't get a phone call and say, hey, we ain't got no power either. Because they knew, hey, not our problem. You won't get out. What do you want us to do about it? You want us to go check the breaker, be your babysitter? We know the power ain't shut off. So anyways, moving on from that, he started getting nasty. And I told him they destroyed the home. He's like, I don't care. It's not my problem. And he's believing everything that they told him. Knowing my friend would not, he's been in my friend's home. He knows that my friend's a clean person, okay? And he knows what issues that we were having with these people beforehand. But he's believing them he's still ticked off at my friend for not going back to work for him. So he's starting to get loud, and the jerk is yelling in the background. And I said, you know what? You can tell him to zip it and shut up. I said, because I'm not intimidated by him. And when the boss man started getting loud with me, I said, you can tone it down too, because you know what? You're a drunk. He's a meth head. He's a drunk. Okay? I said, I am the only one on this phone call that isn't under the influence of anything. I'm the only one in my right mind. All right? And I said, I'm not his girlfriend, because he treats his girlfriend like, well, they both do. But he yells at her. Boss man, him and his wife, they yell back at each other. I said, I don't put up with men yelling at me. So either you tone it down and talk to me like a civil person, or we're going to cut this short and I will have your vehicle towed. All right? And they can get their shit whenever it's convenient for us. Plain and simple. And I said, I'm not playing these games with you. I said, I'm taking over now. I said, and I know I'm going to sound really mean here. Sorry, you're hearing my dog. You hear him a lot doing that. He's an old guy. I told him, I said, I have more cojones than all of you guys. And I was talking about my friend too, and I hate to say this, but he he doesn't like to, he doesn't like confrontation. And I don't either, but at this point in time, I had enough of seeing somebody with a good heart getting used. And actually, I didn't say cojones. I said, I have more balls than all of you. All right? And I told him, I said, enough is enough. I said, they were already out, right? I said, because the boss man said, well, they've been out for 2 weeks. I said, then don't need eviction. You just said it. They've been out for 2 weeks. There you go. I said, you got it on recording, don't you? I said, but apparently they didn't take the rest of their stuff. So what are they doing? Are they using it for storage? No, they're out of the house. You know, once the drugs were found, that was a game changer. Okay. That was per the cop. I said, I have his name. I have his badge number. I have the police report number, whatever it's called that he gave me. I said, do you want it? I can give it to you and you can call him. No, I don't want it. I said, of course not. You don't. So anyways, he's like, okay, all right, I'm going to calm down. I said, yeah, you are going to calm down. I'm going to hang up on you. And we're not going to get any further. I said, then you can get, you know, a court order or whatever. I said, we don't want their stuff. Their stuff is junk. Okay? Now, granted, the guy does do good work. I already told you that. But we want it out of the house. So we can bomb the house. It's got to be professionally. Someone's got to come in there and bomb it. We're not going to buy that junk. Okay? So I told him, you know, we want you guys to get the crap out of there. This needs to be done and over with. And so he's like, okay. He goes, can you meet? Now, this is Sunday, right? And I'm like, I need to hurry up with this phone call because I said, we got to cut this grass because, you know, they don't even know how to do that. They got a ride-on lawnmower here that belongs to my friend, but they're too lazy to cut the grass here. You know, that's probably why their dog was infested with fleas. And, you know, they can't give their dog flea medicine. Of course not. Let their dog suffer. So I said, I'm going to help him cut the grass. I said, so let's get going here. He's like, well, he goes, can you meet Tuesday? He goes, I'll bring the cops out. I said, okay. He goes, Tuesday morning. I said, my friend has to work Tuesday. Okay? I didn't. And I said, goodness. Sniffling. I'm telling you, the sinus allergies, a cold, whatever I got, this is horrible. And now I'm off track again. And he's like, well, what about 3? I said, you're in construction, okay? I said, you understand that it could be, God knows when they get off. I said, heck, you used to have them working until, 8, 9 o'clock at times? Even later? Seriously? Even though my friend has, you know, they don't work that late. He's, like I said, he's got a good boss now. He's like, I said, you know, he's off on the weekends. And apparently he didn't have the help, though. So he said, well, can he do it at 6? I said, fine. I said, well, I asked my friend. I said, you know, can you do it at 6? He's like, yeah, because he's always off work before then. I said, okay, we will do it at 6. And I said, but you know the jerk isn't allowed to be over here. There's a protective order. So he asked me if the female could come so she could point out what needs to be done. I said, yes, she can. But I told him that she would need to keep her mouth shut, okay? And, you know, she's only there to show what, what belongs to her, so you guys can pack it up, and so you guys, can go. And she doesn't need to talk to me. We don't need to talk to each other. And, that's that. And my friend will be there, but he will be outside doing yard work. He's not going to be saying anything to anybody. Nobody needs to be saying anything to him. Plain and simple, that I am running the show. I am taking over per him. And Boss Man is the middleman too, that he's taken over. Okay. And again, the jerk is running his mouth, and I told the Boss Man, he needs to shut his mouth, okay? I don't know what lies he told you. I don't give a shit. All right? And at this time, like I said, through the conversation, the Boss Man at first was yelling at me. I put him in his place. And then he calmed down. I told him, if we can't talk civil, I think I already stated this, the conversation's going to end. I'm not putting up with it. You got the wrong one this time, okay? So he calmed down. We got civil, and we came to the agreement to meet yesterday at 6 with the police. And he was going to bring, he said his, which I didn't know, he said his nephew, and then this girl that lived there, the girlfriend, to just help point out what needs to go. And that would be it. And they would be out. It would be done. And then, whatever I had to do civilly, I would do, no more. So I'm going to do a part 3 because this was so long. And then we'll finish it up. I'm just trying to break up, this drama circle. Just give some real life drama, what's going on in real life. And again, awareness to be very careful on who you allow in your home. So yeah, we're going to do a part 3. And we'll catch you back here in a few.